those reds and greens, are definitely some high wind energy, which is what we certainly would look at for power outages and also possibly tree and power line damage with this storm. But I want to zoom out a little bit and show you why we're concerned about this entire area here, because what I'm going to do is put it into motion over the last hour or so and show you how fast this entire system has moved up through Garland County, through Perry County, all the way into the Russellville area and now into Conway County. And that's where the latest indication was from the National Weather Service on their radar as well, that we could see a possible rotating storm with this in the lower levels. So these storms, as Barry mentioned, are low top. They're really not even much more than 20,000 feet. But it doesn't take much with high wind energy coming from different directions from 20,000 feet down into the lower levels of the atmosphere to create a small tornado, which is possible with this storm, and that's why a tornado warning is in effect until 1:15, and that is in effect for portions of central Faulkner County and northeastern Perry County, where the storm is right now, and moving into southwestern sections and southeastern sections of Conway County. We'll go to Barry, and he's got more on this, and we'll go back to our VRAD radar as well.
Yeah, we have that segment that Ned is talking about there. It looks like to me west of Morrilton, this area that bows out like that. See that? That's where these storms are intersecting a little jet streak that comes in the kind of the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And when it bows out like that and it's raining that hard, that then translates that wind energy down to the ground. The rain actually ties that wind down to the surface. And when you see that happening right there, I would say right along I-40, I bet you the wind is blowing like mad. Avoid that area if you can. For a while anyway. Let the storm pass on up to the north, but it's torrential rainfall. For you folks in Conway, I don't think that's way over here. It looks like to me you're going to get some torrential rainfall with this. It doesn't look like a boat out segment is headed your way. There is some heavier rain along Highway 9, out Highway 10 as you head out west of Little Rock there, and then heading up from through Perryville and Perry and on up to Morrilton. But for now, that area is technically still in a tornado warning. We're going to monitor the National Weather Service from here in Little Rock. They may cancel that, or they may reconfigure this tornado warning to take in a little bit more area up this way. But I'd say if you're in the western part of this, that's the higher indication of rotation, more so than Morrilton or Opelo or on down even into the Perryville area, although there's torrential rainfall right there, and there could be some strong winds. In fact, there will be strong winds as this all moves off to the east. This technically in effect till 1:15 this afternoon. We don't see any other of these little segments, these little storms kind of out by themselves. We don't see that really happening on down the line. It's more of a continuous line, and that's what you want to see. Then all the storms kind of rob energy from one another. But these, when there's a little break or it bows out like that, that's the more wind energy there. So it's Atkins to Blackwell. If we can scoot that down just a touch, I want to show where this storm. That's the latest. We have the latest, yeah, and it's still. I think the Weather Service will take a look at anyway, expanding this through the Hattieville area, the northern part of Conway County, and they may reconfigure this tornado warning very soon and actually drop that portion of it. But they haven't done that yet. I'm just saying outside of the warned area near Hattieville, there is some indication of some spin in the atmosphere. And again, that's likely probably just straight line wind damage. You see right there, you have wind going away from the radar site coming toward it, but it's a broad area. That is not a classic signature for a tornado, but if it happens, it would be a small one, and it can accentuate the damage done by straight line winds.
You can see right now, Barry, where you are looking at near Hattieville on our VRAD radar, there is a small couplet there where that signature is, that diamond, and that is a tornado vortex signature, TVS, that we look at for possible spin-ups along this line. But again, as Barry alluded to, we are looking at that area for also some very high surface winds, possibly gusts in the excess of 50 to 60 miles an hour that we are looking at in that particular area. And we'll zoom in a little bit more and give you an idea. It's just to the northeast of the Blackwell area and also near Hattiesville. That is where we're still looking at a very weak tornadic signature, but nonetheless, it doesn't take much. Even though it's a small tornado, and possibly a small tornado can still do quite a bit of damage, but that's the signature that we're looking at the present time. And again, we'll zoom in a little bit more on that, and you can see that's a couplet where those greens and dark reds are coming together just to the northwest of the at the Hattieville area, and that is what we are looking at right now and keeping an eye on as far as the tornado warning. In the actual tornado warning box, we're not seeing a lot right now, but don't get your guard down. We still have for about another 10 minutes or so that tornado warning that remains in effect until about 1:15 for central Faulkner County. The brunt of this reflectivity that we're looking at and the brunt of this storm center is located right now in Conway County. That's in the vicinity of Hattiesville and just to the north of the Morrilton area. Morrilton, don't get your guard down, but it looks like the brunt of it is just to the north of the area and north of Interstate 40 as it continues on a northeastern path at about 35 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, just now we have gotten information that, as you saw, that the tornado vortex signature has been lifted from our VRAD radar and also going back to our 5 live Doppler radars if we can. I do want to show you that we are looking at that storm that has generally weakened, and I'm looking at a scope on it right now and showing you that we don't see a lot of a signature there, and that is why the National Weather Service has just canceled the tornado warning for Faulkner and Perry County. So the tornado warning has been canceled at the present time. So we are going to continue to monitor this very closely throughout the afternoon. As I mentioned, we are under a tornado watch that will remain in effect until about 6 o'clock tonight for much of central and eastern Arkansas, and that watch will remain in effect, that tornado watch, until the early evening hours. Again, as I remove the scope here, I'll show you, I'll zoom out and again show you that we do have a very fast-moving system, and we talked about it throughout the day yesterday. Barry and I was here, and of course Melinda and Todd were here this morning, but we talked about this being a very fast-moving system. The one thing that is working on our side as I put this into motion, the one thing that is working on our side right now is the fact that this is moving into an area that has been really rain-drenched over the last couple of days. So we don't have a lot of instability with this, but again, we can't rule out the fact that along this line, kind of a broken line of storms from, say, Dallas County, moving toward the Fordyce area, moving toward Little Rock, and eventually moving on into the Greenbrier area. This line still could produce some small spin-ups, and that's why the tornado watch remains in effect. And we'll continue to be here during the afternoon to monitor the situation. But once again, the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for the present time.
We'll keep an eye on it for you all afternoon long, and if anything else happens, we'll be right back here.